Concrete appears strong from the outside, but durability is not read from shape alone. A fine crack may be the beginning of a path for water and chlorides toward the reinforcement. When steel corrodes, it does not only weaken, the corrosion product expands and pushes the concrete cover. Here the film's question begins. Can concrete be protected with reinforcement that does not corrode? Fiber-reinforced composite is not a new metal. It is fibers inside a resin that carries tension. At sea, this difference becomes decisive. The environment does not strike the structure once, but every day. But high tensile strength is not enough. The bar does not work apart from the concrete. For strength to become useful, the load must transfer from the concrete to the bar. If bond fails, we may not see a large fracture. We may see quiet slip that makes the element lose its function. This is the zone of decision, a small interface between the bar surface and the concrete. A smooth surface reduces friction and interlock and may allow slip to begin early. So research tries to improve the surface through grooves, sand coating, or spiral shaping. So roughness is not decoration. It is a way to transfer force into the reinforcement. After bond comes confinement. Stirrups control concrete expansion around the bars. Good confinement may change failure from sudden splitting into behavior that is clearer to measure. When concrete splits longitudinally, the cover is no longer resisting the bond forces. A controlled bond test reveals the relationship between load, slip, and anchorage length. But the laboratory does not ask about strength on one day only. It asks what happens after exposure. Saltwater, alkalinity, and heat test the resin, the surface, and the bond zone together. After weeks or months, it is not enough to know the strength of the first day. The more important question becomes, how much bond remains after time and environment? On the coast, deterioration is not a sudden event. It is a slow repetition of water and salt. Even the concrete itself changes. Sea sand and coral aggregate may alter porosity and adhesion. Fiber-reinforced composite is strong in tension, but its failure mode is the sensitive part of the story. Fiber-reinforced composite is strong in tension, but high strength does not mean ductility. Steel may yield before failure and gives warning through deformation. Fiber-reinforced composite, however, may fail suddenly, with a brittle fiber fracture, not a clean metallic cut. Then a limit appears that tension tests alone do not reveal fire. At high temperature, fibers are not tested alone. The problem begins when the resin loses part of its stiffness. Then the polymer link no longer works with the same strength. The problem begins when the resin loses part of its stiffness. Then the polymer link no longer works with the same strength. Internal bars receive relative protection from the concrete cover. Heat does not reach them directly as it reaches the surface. Internal bars receive relative protection from the concrete cover. Heat does not reach them directly as it reaches the surface. External fiber strengthening lies directly on the element's surface. Without thermal protection, the interface may lose bond rapidly. For this reason, intermediate solutions appeared. Fibers are placed inside grooves instead of remaining exposed. Protection is not a formal addition. Thermal insulation may decide whether the system remains able to work. So some studies move toward fiber mesh inside cement mortar. The idea is to reduce dependence on heat-sensitive resin. So the solution is not always to replace steel, but to use a hybrid design. Composite reinforcement is placed where corrosion is more severe, while steel remains where ductility and energy dissipation are needed. In this way, the internal arrangement becomes a balanced structural solution, not one material that solves everything. With high ductility concrete, another idea appears: concrete with greater ability to distribute fine cracks. Combining composite reinforcement with high ductility concrete tries to offset brittleness with greater deformation capacity. In a seismic structure, we do not look for a heroic material, we look for a system that remains coherent under motion. In columns, composite reinforcement wraps concrete like a confining belt, delaying core crushing under pressure. In beams, external carbon fiber sheets act as local treatment along the path of tension and bending. In slabs, the risk may begin with a small deflection around a limited loading area. The beam column joint reminds us, forces do not move through one element, but through a whole network. Punching shear failure proves that a small zone may control the safety of the entire slab. Not all composite fibers are the same. Carbon, glass, and basalt are different design choices. Then comes the end-of-life question. What happens to composites after their first function ends? The engineer does not choose the highest tensile number only. He balances performance, cost, durability, and environment. Carbon gives high performance, glass is more widespread, and basalt opens a middle path. Grinding glass fiber composites does not make waste a ready solution, but it turns it into a material that can be tested. When recycled fibers enter the mixture, design becomes part of a wider life cycle. From one experiment to thousands of results, specimens become data that can be compared. Data does not replace the laboratory, it makes its results understandable at a wider scale. Before we trust a material inside concrete, we must test how it works under severe conditions. The problem is not tensile strength alone, but the system's ability to transfer load over time. Research brings together tension, pull-out, and bending results, then searches for a weakness that one number cannot show. At high temperature, fibers are not tested alone. The resin and the interface with concrete are tested as well. If the polymer link weakens, the fibers may remain, but the system loses stiffness. Here, bond becomes the most critical question. Does the load transfer, or does slip begin inside the concrete? For this reason, studies move toward protection and insulation and placing fibers inside concrete rather than leaving them exposed. The conclusion is not that the material is perfect. Design decides when it succeeds and when it fails.